So for medieval humanities class, we throw out the idea that you need to make something medieval for a class project and do a little research and write it up. And occasionally the ambitious student comes along that builds a siege weapon. Typically, I get the trebuchet variety, which is the large with heavy counterweight sling device. This is the first time I've had a student, Joe Vaught, successfully build a Roman-style onager, which is a torsion-powered projectile thrower that uses twisted skeins of rope and the tension built up from that to snap a throwing arm and hurl a projectile at the enemy. So the design is pretty darn good. And we have had some trouble operating it today, but this is probably due to inclement weather. I'll let Joe tell you more.
All right, so here we have the onager. When I was constructing it, I kind of just looked at some schematics online and the overall ideas of the trebuchet as well to understand the conceptual idea about the physics and whatnot. And then when I put it together, I knew that I would have this main cross beam here as the main support for all of the force from the throwing arm. You have your two supports here to kind of fight back against the force of the throwing arm hitting against here. I decided to go ahead and put a notch on this top board just to try to help the stability of the whole mechanism here. As far as the heart of this whole machine is really in these twisted skeins of rope here, and you tighten those up, and that's what causes the board to have that force be propelled forward. The gist of it is that we had to drill a 2-inch diameter hole through this 3.5-inch beam on both sides, and then we ran our rope starting on one end. It was tied to our twister, and we ran it through to this other end here. And then basically we just looped it through our other twister, and we went back and forth until we got pretty much to the end of our rope. I used 100 feet worth of rope, so this is about 100 feet worth. And then I tied it on the end here. And then after that, I just had to find the middle of the rope, and that's where you put your throwing arm in. And then once you do that, you just have to tighten it down. As you can see here, after a while, it got so tight to where it was pretty hard to tighten it by hand. I actually had to use a bar for more leverage to get it to tighten the rest of the way. We had a little bit of rain the last couple of days, so I was trying to retighten it this morning, and I guess I tightened a little too much, and it actually broke a bit there. But the idea is that once you get it tight enough, then the board has that force, and then you just pull it back, then it has its potential energy, and then it's a torque from all these ropes pulls that board up and it fires it through. As a nice thing to add, I also added these posts here as well to all the corners, just as a way to plant it into the ground if you ever need more stability. But that's the basic gist of it.
Well, that's it for Catapult Day 13. It was perhaps not the most visually spectacular one we've ever had, but then again, we've never had anybody build a torsion-powered onager before, and it has actually been an important learning experience. We've seen a demonstration now historically for why the Romans could use these in the Mediterranean, but they really never took hold in the north of Europe where the cold, soggy, damp weather would have kept these ropes from maintaining the tension for them to work properly. What do you think, Joe?
I overall agree with everything that you said. I think it was a pretty cool learning experience to just see the kind of difficulties that the Romans and such must have faced when they first designed these kinds of catapults. And overall, I just had a lot of fun with making it for your project. And just happy that I got the chance to.
It's done.